Oddly enough, Diablo 4, their server slam, is going to be coinciding with Zelda Tears of the Kingdom release on the 12th of this month. Both games I'm extremely excited about, so I'm going to be trying to do coverage for both. I am a Switch game owner. Zelda is probably my favorite IP of the Switch, but I am also a huge fan of Diablo. I've been playing Diablo for decades now. I did take a break for a long time, but I've played Diablo 2, I've beaten Diablo 3. So it's something that I am familiar with. But today we're specifically going to be going over Diablo 4 stuff, something that I think uh, a lot of us are very interested in before the server slam. So let's go ahead. I'm going to be going over some of the different new videos that have come out. This one is by Force Gaming. Actually, let's go over this one first. This comeback kid video. He does great coverage over Diablo. So let's start with this one.
All right, we got 5 brand new exclusive rewards before launch. Diablo's influence spreading across globally. More confirmation from the devs and some crucial things you need to do to prep right before launch. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you're interested in earning a free Diablo 4 game copy, the Comeback Kids are doing a giveaway. So
that's great, man. They're doing a giveaway.
You can earn a free copy.
My channel's not making enough money to be doing giveaways yet, so you guys might have to wait a while. If you want giveaways, I need subscribers. So hey, I just barely started streaming. It would be great to have you on board.
For yourself. Okay, now Diablo 4's influence is spreading like wildfire across the world. I mean, we have Diablo 4 trailers being shown in theaters, and even a real-life Diablo 4 themed chapel in France.
That's like on another level. Don't tell the Vatican, right? I don't know if they'll be too happy about that one. Man.
Check it out. You can actually visit this Diablo 4 church in person and marvel at the breathtaking architecture and artwork created for this stunning Blizzard advertisement.
That chapel would probably be the closest thing to being religious I've come in a long time, honestly.
It tells the story of the hero's journey and their confrontation with Lilith. I mean, Blizzard's always been really ambitious with all their marketing schemes for, games like World of Warcraft, but this seems like a whole different level we've never even seen before. And the craziest thing is that it doesn't.
Yeah, that's cool.
Diablo's partnership with KFC isn't ending. Previously, you could have gotten into the early access portion of Diablo.
Of all fast food chains, they choose KFC, right? You have to think. It's probably because a lot of people from the Midwest are big into sinning.
Diablo 4's beta by simply buying a KFC chicken sandwich. But now, we just got some brand new leaks from the same Reddit user who leaked that previous advertisement. So beginning on May 29th, Diablo fans will have the opportunity to collect 5 distinct in-game rewards by making purchases either online or through the KFC app, according to the leak. Now, nothing is known yet about what the rewards will actually be, but the documentation labels them as in-game Diablo assets. It's also going to include limited-time joint promotion packaging on the sandwich pouch and the medium drink cup for you memorabilia fans out there. It also states
I might actually start eating more chicken because of this.
On the back of the sandwich pouch and connecting your KFC account to your Battle.net account. And rewards 2 through 5 are exclusively available with any sandwich purchased on the KFC website or the KFC app. Moving on to more developer official updates, the developers were also asked upon the campaign skip feature once again on if, once you actually complete the campaign, can you skip it on your other characters on a harder difficulty?
My wife and kids love KFC. They're actually from the Philippines. My wife is from the Philippines. Most people don't know. They eat a lot of fried food. Fried chicken is extremely popular over there. And you just have to get used to it. I mean, if you're not like into eating fried food, good luck. You're not going to escape it in the Philippines.
For example, if you completed it on Veteran, can you skip it on Nightmare? The game's director stated, once you complete the campaign once on any difficulty, you can skip it from that point forward. He also stated that you could change your world tier difficulty at your character select screen or the statue in Kyovu Shad. This also works for all the new seasons that come out in Diablo, helping heavily for the replayability every 3 or 4 months. And after you skip the campaign, you're headed right into some of the endgame features of Diablo 4, like the open world events as well as the Whispers of the Dead.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of cool that you can skip ahead, and that way any progress you've made with a specific character type, you can move that into different an alternative character type. Will I do that? I mean, there's something to be said. I think that you'll find if you guys didn't play in the beta, the character classes play pretty differently. So you may want to play through all over again with a different character class. Like I did, I played through the first time with a rogue, and the rogue played like I expected it to play. And then I played as a druid, and all of a sudden I was like, man, this almost doesn't feel like the same game. And especially because I already kind of knew the storyline, where to go in all these specific dungeons. I wasn't like looking in every nook and cranny for every specific item. I was actually doing the playthrough differently myself. It almost felt like a different game.
Quest system. Now, it might not be the most popular thing to play couch co-op on a PC, but no matter the case, Diablo 4 is not going to be supporting this feature. During a recent interview, Rod Ferguson confirmed
that's too bad.
Co-op will not be present in the PC version of Diablo 4, and instead will be exclusive only to console players. The biggest problem was that it was simply a technology issue, with trying to do a shared screen co-op on PC. It's a lot more challenging when it comes to account management and how you play together.
Most people that play online gaming don't expect to have the other player right there next to him anyways. I mean, a lot of us are kind of grown adults. We have our own space, right? So even if you have a roommate that's really into, say you're in college, you have a roommate that's really into Diablo, he's going to want to be playing on his own computer anyways. He's not going to want to be sharing a screen with you.
So essentially stating that the technology to make couch co-op on PC happen just simply doesn't exist yet, and the focus has likely been putting on streamlining the console co-op experience rather than trying to fix and figure something out for the PC. He also stated that solving problems for two people sitting at a desk playing on the PC is a lower priority when the majority of couch co-op is going to happen in front of a 65-inch TV on console.
Yeah, that's the other big thing. Like, are you both going to be crowding around a desk on a 27-inch monitor? You're not going to want to do that with sharing like a desktop. So I don't even think that's a necessary feature for. It's not going to improve sales. If anything, it's going to make sales worse. So, assuming that they could play under one account, I don't know how they would do the double login on the computer, on a single computer. So that being said, anyways, not a big deal.
Personally, would have really liked this integration if I could, maybe play with Lance on stream or some other friend or, my girl or whatever, but it sadly looks like it's not going to be happening or being integrated anytime soon. Now, some brand new questions being answered about one of the biggest endgame features is the Paragon board. And we just got this answer. The question is, do you all have plans to allow us to see all the Paragon boards prior to spending points? This way we can plan a little better while building our characters.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one because those Paragon boards are pretty complex. And if you're just going to be building out a character not knowing what the next Paragon board could be that you're going to lay down, it's going to make it really difficult to optimize the characters.
Without needing a respec. The games director replied saying it's something we're definitely getting feedback on and we'll be looking at in the future. Launch really is just the beginning. Now, to a lot of people out there, the Paragon board is a little bit intimidating and
a little bit intimidating. I don't know if I could even touch it during the beta. I don't even know if it was available. I was kind of just going around like, okay, I can do X, Y, and Z. It's like knowing the first 5 letters of an alphabet. And maybe if you've been playing Diablo 3 for the last, or Diablo 2, or Diablo 3 for the last, 5 years, and you're super familiar with the interface, so you can just like jump right back in and be like, okay, I know letters, A through X. I just have to add in a couple more to finish the alphabet, that type of thing. But for a lot of people that participate in the beta, I assume that they were just like me. They're like, how can I get these rewards before time runs out? And so this board, I don't know. I didn't even touch it.
It's a tough feature feature for them to understand if you're newer to gaming and stuff like that. It is actually going to be very, very close to impossible to be able to plan your route through the Paragon board through just the in-game features and, you know, the displays through that. So what I'm going to do personally, and I highly advise everyone out there to do that, there are third-party websites online that have the full Paragon board trees absolutely leaked. So I highly recommend doing that. Obviously, it's very...
That is good information. d4builds.gg. We should go check that out. I'm going to go find that right now. D4 builds. D4 builds. Builds.gg. Look at that. That's going to be useful. Man. Thank you, come back, kid. All right. Twisting Blades Rogue with the inner sight. See this? Oh, man, they got all these builds in here. This is a great site. I didn't even know this existed until just now. Let's see. Server Slam, Ashava builds, new. This is probably what I'm going to use right now. Do any of you guys know, tell me in the comments, if the characters that we leveled up during beta are still going to be leveled up when we play in the Server Slam? I hope so. I hope I keep all those same items. It would be pretty lame if I had to start all over again. That's going to make for a really intense couple days. The Rapid Fire Rogue. Let's see. Chain Lightning Sorcerer. I like that they give you two of each. Two types of builds for each. But Bone Spirit Necromancer. Yeah, the Blood Mist. That one was like just an insanely powerful skill during the beta. Okay. Let's keep going with this video.
It's sad that this isn't going to be a feature at launch day, but I'm sure they'll plan to integrate that into the game post-launch once again. Okay, now moving on. If you've been living under a shell the last 6 months,
That's me.
AI has been completely taking over the world at this point. You know, creating art and just about anything you could possibly imagine out there. The latest controversy is that Blizzard Entertainment has filed a patent regarding machine learning-based 2D structured image generation. Now, to quickly break this down without completely losing your interest, Blizzard has been accused for using AI to generate many of the Diablo 4 assets and art entirely from the ground up. Complaints have even come from former Blizzard employees and designers, and the Blizzard president claims that this isn't the actual case of what's going on. Mike Ybarra states that their approach is to use machine learning and AI in ways that are additive and allows their teams to spend more time on the highest quality creative things.
AI is going to change everything, guys. I mean, honestly, how are people surprised? This is not something that can be suppressed either, because if Blizzard doesn't use AI into the generation of games, they will get taken over like that, right? Any company that doesn't involve AI into their workflow over the next few years is just going to get left behind. So of course Blizzard is doing this. I don't know how I feel about these patents, though, that they're trying to implement. It seems like the patents that they're going after might not be revolutionary. I don't know if that's one of the things. Sometimes these companies just seek after really broad patents that for stuff that they really didn't create or own. I'm not happy about that.
Rather than the more tedious constructive work. And honestly, the reason I'm even bringing up this topic as a whole is because I think if you use AI in ways to build upon an idea, it can dramatically increase the speed at which something is developed. Whether that be dungeon designs, skill designs, or whatever the case may actually be.
Yeah, I had actually thought about that too. Like, why don't they just use AI to do dungeon design, right? They can simply just put all these different parameters in and even create new art for the dungeons as well. A lot of people in the beta were complaining about how all the dungeons kind of felt and looked the same. Well, you throw AI in there, and all of a sudden, it's going to make everything super diverse and super original.
The whole idea with AI is that it heavily takes inspiration from previously created assets and databases online and combines it into something new. And I honestly think that if Blizzard's actually going to use it in a way that isn't completely ripping people off and just, starting brand new ideas from the ground up with this thing, I don't see a problem with it. I think it'd be great for pumping out dungeons as well as more designs and characters and, monster types, etc. a lot quicker. So overall, I think it's a very good.
Yeah, you can think of it, the art director can type in a new idea for, say, a helmet, a look for a helmet, right? And then if the AI generates like 10 different images related to the input of the art director can just scan through and say, like, I like that one, I don't like that one. Let's keep this, let's throw the rest out, and then let's actually evolve this a little bit. Let's take this and we're going to add like, spikes on the side of the helmet and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, these art directors, even if they're not talented artists, will be able to create really impressive assets. And you can do this too. Just so you know, I mean, maybe not for Diablo, but just understand that these things that restricted you in the past, like maybe you weren't a good artist in the past, or maybe you didn't know how to program in the past, these don't have to be limiting factors for you to build a video game or build a computer game or build sellable assets that people will buy or that people will value.
Good thing. Okay, now with Diablo just a few weeks away, we also want to just quickly dive into some preparations that we really think you should make heading into the launch of the game. Now, we're most likely going to be making an in-depth future on all of this, in the future right before launch, but we just wanted to share some of them with you right now. Step one is going to be making sure your physical life is in order. This can include making sure you have the days off on Diablo 4's launch that Friday, so after you come home from work Thursday, you can just play the game, as well as communicating with your significant other how important the launch is to you, so they can help you with.
Do people really need this? That's funny. I mean, maybe it's just filler for the video. I don't know, but a lot of people that play Diablo don't even have a significant other. Babe, this weekend, I'm not going to be talking to you. I'm going to be playing Diablo 4. And I just want you to know in advance, the only thing that matters to me is gaming. You will always come second. Right? Anyways.
Whatever you need help with, like dinners, children, pet management, whatever. And if you also want to take it even further, you can even meal prep as well as making sure your gaming environment.
Meal prep. He's talking about meal prep. As maybe some of you are, take it to that extreme. I don't know. I don't think that you'll need to in order to be able to level up to 20 and be able to get the Ashaba. And just take it as it comes. I don't know. Maybe some of you guys are in very controlling relationships. I'm pretty fortunate in that respect. I have a wife and kids, but, I still have a lot of flexibility with my time to do with what I want. Hence, I'm streaming, right?
On that insane Diablo 4 marathon session. Step 2 is also going to be knowing who you're going to play with. If you're interested, we also have a Discord server of almost 1,000 people to come and interact with, so you could try to make some friends, join a clan come launch day, whatever. And the last step is going to be trying out every class you possibly can during the final open beta weekend. If you spent the first few weekends playing one class, we highly recommend trying to play all of them because you never know what gameplay style you might actually.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that during the server slam, especially if you don't have the rewards. Once you get the rewards, once you have the Ashaba horn, then yeah, like try out some other characters, try out some different builds. But up until that point, find one of these really effective builds on one of these character types that you're already familiar with, get the awards, focus on that, and then you can start tinkering around with some of the other stuff. But you know, to me, I don't think it's worth risking not getting that Ashava horn if you're going to be participating here in the server slam.
Enjoy, so come launch day, you'll have no trouble of what choice to make for the complete launch of the game. Now, if you don't want to do any of that, we also have a ton of videos on the channel giving you every bit of information we possibly know of as of right now to every class out there. So if you're interested in that, go take a look as well. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap up the news and updates for today. I'm excited to see what those in-game exclusive rewards are from KFC. I'm going to have to just sacrifice my liver a little bit, eating that, chicken sandwich every once in a while.
They've got some decent sandwiches. KFC is actually, it's not the worst fast food restaurant by any means. Some of their food's actually pretty decent. Just, get the coleslaw and see, don't go ham on eating all KFC all the time just from the rewards. Okay, let's check out what this next video is. Why Diablo is doomed. This just came out about a day ago by Fleekazoid. Let's see if it's any good, huh?
Diablo 4 is coming out next month, and pimps, let me tell you something, it is the best of everything. If you're Activision Blizzard, that is, because they managed to trick one of the largest nostalgic reserve armies into hitting every branch on the predatory monetization tree. Or in other words, Bobby Boy just hit bingo, and he even got to keep the titty milk. They get $70 for the base.
I'm already liking this channel. It's pretty good. Sometimes, with these different gaming channels, all they talk about are strategy and how to get the next item. This channel is actually pretty cool. It seems like they're taking a lot of, they're actually incorporating a lot of jokes and cultural references, which is nice.
An extra $20 for early access, paid expansions, an in-game shop, battle passes, and a physical collector's edition for $100 that doesn't even include the game itself.
Yeah, what is that about? You're going to pay $100 for the physical copy, and it doesn't even include the game. Like, I saw that. At first I thought it was a typo. I couldn't believe it. What genius at Blizzard thought that would be a good idea? Everything's even moving online now. This is like the reverse of an NFT. It's like, here's a physical thing that's going to sit in your closet. You're never going to look at. But you can say that you have it.
That is some tier 3 grifting right there.
I think everybody kind of feels the same. I almost feel bad for the people that bought it.
His gotcha mechanics to get big budget waifus, but I'll get to that problem in a second. First, I want to address the fact that, yes, I am well aware that this is just the way it is in the modern day gaming industry because I watched Asmongold's video on it.
Yeah, it just seems like it's going in the wrong direction. I mean, if they're going to be selling some type of physical copy that doesn't even include the game, that's just, it's like 3 steps back.
He said that shit 50 times, but just because that's just the way it is doesn't mean the game will be any less shit as a result of it. Have we all forgotten about Warhammer 40,000 different color shirts unless you succumb to the cash shop? Have we all forgotten?
Yeah, well, for skins, I mean, who cares? If you want a skin, hey, pay a little extra, right? I'm okay with that. One of the things I liked about gaming, say like 20 years ago, is a lot of times there were different mods for games, like Quake. I used to play these different Quake mods, and you could download stuff where you can make your own skins. I mean, it was revolutionary at the time, but the idea that you would take these, different images, bring them into Photoshop, and you could kind of edit the way that they looked however you wanted. I mean, they were a mess. It was like the body was completely warped to the side. So you really kind of had to tinker with it to get the skins to look right. But it was pretty cool. The same thing with Wolfenstein. I mean, you can make your own new bad guy type characters, own new death animations, all kinds of cool stuff. Now it's a little bit more proprietary where it's like, all right, well, if you want to incorporate your skins into these games, you're going to have to pay us. And if you want to sell them, same thing, you're going to have to pay us. these game companies have to make money. Hey, and they are providing a service. So can I knock them for it? No. No, I honestly can't. I understand why they're doing it.
About New World making you run around looking like a jackass for 20 hours because they put 5 different dorky armor sets in the base game, unless of course you use the cash shop. And have we all forgotten what this does to the actual game? It's not just the fact that they're trying to take the milk right out of your fridge. I mean, that's capitalism, baby. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. No, I have
just the way it is.
Of cut content that will be a result of it. And this is a game that already looks like it's going to struggle with girth if it's pencil thick.
Listen, guys, things aren't free. You know, they spent how many millions of dollars developing this game? They've got to get their money back out of it. That's just the way it is. They have investors, they have employees, they have servers to upkeep. None of this stuff is free. So it's not like gaming from back in 1989 where they create, you know, a console game and it comes in a little box and that's it. It doesn't connect. Now all these games connect up to the internet and they're constantly being updated and everything else. It's just a different world that we live in.
Skill tree is any indication. But speaking of things that aren't going to be thin at all, let's talk about the character customizer because damn! Remember Diablo 2's Assassin or their Amazon, or hell, even the Sorceress? Well, forget about all that, because this is what you get now. What in the goddamn hell is that supposed to be? The budget cuts here are so bad that I think we can officially declare this game the Great 600-Pound Depression. In fact, you don't even get a budget slider here, and yet they have the balls to walk around talking about...
That is true. You know, it would be nice if they had a slider that said like, okay, do you want somebody to be a little bit heavier, a little bit skinnier, or what? But no, they don't even give you that. So I'm not the biggest fan of their character selection options. Yes, they do provide a ton of different options with how you can personalize it. But if they're not good, then who cares? If there's only like 2 or 3 options that are good out of 20, then you only really have 2 or 3 options. You don't have 20, right? At least that's my perspective of it.
Near endless character creation.
It's impeccable how in a game with, quote,
Near endless character creation.
not one of them results in a big budgeted end result. I'm fighting for representation here, pimps. Okay, sure, technically, this is a major leap for the series because in Diablo 3, you could only choose from the 2 genders. And in this one, well, no, actually, hang on, that's gone. But hey, you have an endless 4 face type and an endless 12 hairstyles and an endless 12 facial hair types.
It's all endless, right? 10, 12, and it's like, yeah, just like I was saying, maybe 2 are okay. The other ones really don't look that good. And maybe this is a step up from Diablo 3, but it's been like, what, a decade? They should really be on a different level than this with the character selection or character creation options, in my opinion.
Can walk into that tavern and turn that place into a marsh with her voluptuous big beard. You know what I'm talking about, Sony fanboys. Come on. I mean, Jesus. At this point, I'm with you. Let's just accelerate all the way forward. I will not buy this game if I can't make my woman have the George Costanza cut with an Honest Abe beard. Get that hand off that woman's ass and get typing, Blizzard. We got expectations to meet.
Man, this guy is great. Oh, what a terrific channel. Like, I wish more gaming channels were like this. I just feel like a lot of them are just a little bit too dry.
Even if you can't do it, I understand it. I mean, it's only a $70 game. It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it
Moving
is.
on, let's talk about the story. I know one thing about the story, and that is the fact that they plan on dropping story updates every 3 months, probably to get you to come back and see their new battle pass every season, so Big Bob's yacht doesn't run out of fuel. However, my concern, to talk out of my ass for a second, is that the story will also suffer cut content, and they'll use that cut content as the bait.
I mean, the story's okay even to begin with. I wouldn't say it's something to write home about. So, and it's always kind of been that way with Diablo. You know, it's more about the gameplay. It's more about the character development, and it's less about the story. I don't give a shit, honestly, about the different main bad guys or good guys or heaven and hell and that whole theme. That's not the reason why I play. And you know, some of the graphical scenes, cutscenes are really impressive. But, just like any other game, some of the storylines can drag just like to where you just end up skipping them, right? There's a little bit of repetition, so you just skip over it.
I sure wouldn't hope that's the case, or else it might just tarnish Blizzard's good name. Regardless, at this point, only time will tell if that is just the way it is. It's just the way it is.
Just the way it is.
But as long as I'm bringing up great points, lest we all forget that, much like Diablo 3's launch, there's going to be a plethora of performance issues related to the fact that this game is always online. I'm talking rubber banding, connection errors, lagging, and of course that's even if you have the privilege of being allowed through the front fucking door. And if my tour in the Overwatch 2...
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point of the server slam, right? With the beta, for that first like 12 hours or first day, a lot of times you'd be left in a queue for like a half hour, an hour. I almost didn't think I was going to get to play. So, and I would take breaks. I mean, I would play for like an hour or a couple hours, and then I'd log off and come back, and I'd be like, I've got to wait another 30, 45 minutes to get back in. This is insane. So they resolved a lot of those issues during the beta. And the server slam is just to test it again. I don't think that the QEs are going to be as long as they were. And hopefully that's the case. We'll see.
Then I think the only thing that's going to be
near endless
is these goddamn queue times, which is why we have the $20 upgrade for early access. Buy it now, queue on Friday, crash on Saturday, and get back in by Sunday. Your move, law, man. Listen, don't come crying to me that it's unfair, because then it would sound like it's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Just the way it is. Just the way it is, fool. Speaking of which, then we have the gameplay. And listen, I know this is going to be a bit controversial, but as someone that beat Diablo 3 about 10 years ago on a laptop that sounded like it was going to explode the whole time, I don't even think this looks that good. Barbarian looks like ass. Druid doesn't do damage. So
Yeah, well, there's some good Druid builds out there. It's just like the Rogue. In the beta, a lot of people complained about the Rogue at the start of the beta and said like, oh man, the Rogue doesn't compare to some of these other builds. And then nearing the end of the beta, they're like, oh, he's one of the fastest and highest damaging character types there is. So same thing with the Druid. And some people just like the different types of gameplay. A lot of that stuff is going to get balanced out, and a lot of it isn't. One of the things that I was talking about in one of my previous videos was with the legendary items. Let's say there's a really popular type of build for a character type, right? And it's because you compare it with a specific type of legendary power. Well, what can happen is in a blink of an eye, they can create a brand new type of legendary weapon power that is synergistic with a skill that completely transforms what the best builds are in a given class. So that's one of the cool things of how they can actually evolve this game over time and keep it from getting kind of dry and repetitive.
Sorcerer looks like a sorcerer, and then essentially leaves you with just the Necromancer. But you know what game has a Necromancer, and Heavy Flamers, and Heavy Bolters, and Chainswords, and Space Marines? That's right, fuck Diablo 4.
No, that's just blasphemy. I don't know if I can get on board with that.
But now, as for Diablo 4, let's do what we always do with the previews. It's time to place your bets. All right, now listen here. I think this is what we can expect out there come game day, Jim. I think there's one guy that only ever played Diablo 3 that one time on PS4 on accident for a couple minutes, and he's gonna say, Diablo has never been better. Another man has been...
Well, I don't think that's fair. I mean, you can look at a lot of these different gamers and a lot of these different streamers that they play a ton of Diablo, and even they are rating Diablo 4 super well. I saw one video where a lot of these major streamers are rating it somewhere between 7, 8.5, 9, and that's just from the beta. And I actually think that's a pretty fair representation of the game. I would probably give it about an 8. Diablo 3 was revolutionary for its time, And so people kind of complain about the graphics now not being some huge upgrade, but they're as good as any other AAA game out there for the most part that's kind of like this. And I would say it's actually really impressive.
Playing Diablo since he was in utero will say it's not quite meth, but I suppose crack will do. And finally, some jackass that works for Kotaku will probably say as they cut the balls,
Finally, I can see myself in Diablo 6's amazing character creator.
as for scores, I'm guessing 6s across the board. Now for my score,
Yo, everybody, welcome to the chat. Good to have you in here.
it's just the way it is. Just the way it is.
Just the way it is.
Alright, it's about to get loud, Pip. Alright, ladies and pimps, this is just this song's for the Windows time.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at the next Diablo video that I was looking at today. I was actually impressed. Dude, this is a cool channel, Fleekazoid. He does good coverage on games and makes it really interesting rather than like all those other super dry, super generic coverage on all these games.
Ridge. They've currently got an anniversary sale taking place. If you head over to ridge.com.
Everyone hates Diablo 4.
6, you can save up to 30%.
That's catchy, right?
Stay tuned for later in the video to learn more. With the Diablo 4 pre-order beta taking place last week.
Who is this guy? I know this guy. It's Force Gaming, dude. He's got a good channel.
From seasoned members of the ARPG community who had some major criticisms for the game. And what seemed to be the largest, most common complaints boiled down to a repetitive dungeon structure, poor itemization, the game's use of level and power scaling, and just an overall lack of innovation and or complexity in Diablo 4. Now,
I didn't feel that way at all. I thought the game was great. I don't know how complex you want a game to be. You know, they have to make a game that is not so intimidating for brand new players. Think about it. They want to bring in new players, not just the old players that they had from before. And so they can create something new, something fresh, but they still need to make it simple enough. But honestly, this game is super complex. I mean, you have so many options and different ways to develop your character. It's insane.
I've watched and read tons of this coverage over the past week with videos from some really great creators, like people whose opinion I highly respect and value. Kirparian put out an hour-long epic of a review. This dude is just great. He was
That was a good review.
extraordinaire, holding the world's first and only pre-nerf hardcore Diablo Inferno clear, which was quite a spectacle back then and is still impressive to this day. Plus, he's just a chill dude, like really nice from my interactions. A pleasure to speak with. Ziggy D, who I remember first meeting back in the StarCraft 2 days, later transitioned into more.
Yeah, for the game still essentially being in beta, there's been a lot of coverage so far and some really good content.
Of Diablo 4, Mr. Llama SC, who is a big figure in the Diablo 2 scene, well known for speedrunning and just really liking Diablo 2. He like lives and breathes this game. He had plenty to say about D4 on behalf of that community. And then there's Asmongold, a man who has earned every ounce of his nerd cred. When it comes to no life in games, he has put in the time, or as the kids would say, he's a real one. Each of these people.
All right, guys, I'm going to end it here. I've got some pressing issues to take care of, but I'm excited for this May 12th. Get ready for the server slam. I appreciate you guys watching. You guys have a good day. Bye.